About 11 o'clock last night. You think he won because his wife was murdered?
What a terrible thing to say.
Vicky said that the headquarters was flooded with condolence calls.
Well, people felt sorry for him, I'm sure. I wish some of that sympathy was working for Dave. He could use it. In fact, Dave thinks that Lee has capitalized on Kate's murder, too. I ran into both of them at the hospital the other day. The argument got a little heated when Dave told Lee that he didn't believe his public image as a grieving widower.
Wow. What did Carruthers do?
Well, he denied it, of course. And when Dave tried to question him further about it, Lee said the only questions he'd answer would be in court, and that Dave would be sorry.
Just a minute. Hi there.
Hi.
I'm glad you can make it, honey. Oh.
Yeah, so am I. Am I too early?
Oh, no. The reason I'm dressed this way is I slept late, and I couldn't decide whether to dress first or get breakfast started, so I opted for breakfast and figured you wouldn't mind seeing your old man in his PJs.
Of course not. Can I do anything to help?
Oh, no, not at all. I've got my famous Phillips one-step French toast baking in the oven right now. Oh, just don't let me get sidetracked and forget to hear the timer when it goes off.
I won't.
Hey, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you coming to court with me this morning.
I felt so helpless sitting there yesterday while that district attorney made you out of some sort of an impassioned animal.
Yes, I felt just as helpless, I can tell you.
I even tried to get McGovern to let me work with Gene Redlin in covering the case, hoping that I could come up with some new facts.
What did he say?
He said that I was too emotionally involved. You know, seeing you in that robe and that apron, it reminds me of all the Sundays you used to cook all of us breakfast.
Well, what choice did I have? Living with 3 emancipated American females.
I didn't think you ever minded.
Oh, you're right. I actually enjoyed it. Well, there it goes. Well, let's see if it tastes the same as it did in the old days.
Yeah.
So you're going to help Gary with another exam again, huh?
Yeah, biology.
I sure hope he appreciates what a good friend he has in you.
I hope he does, too. I don't know why I do it. He's such a clod. We saw this girl there at the...
Courtney?
How'd you know that?
Well, it's my kitchen. I get to listen to whatever's said in it.
Okay. Well, she's a freshman. She's kind of pretty. She has all the heads turning over at Kingsley College. And, well, she's at the huddle and alone, and one of Gary's friends, frat brother, big jock, walks over to her, tries to put the make on her, and, well, I got out of line. I walked over and told him to take a hike.
I hope this isn't going to be a rerun of trying to rescue another Vicky from her problems.
What was I supposed to do? This Neanderthal goes over, threatens a little girl. Want me to just sit there?
So what's this Courtney's last name?
I don't know. Which goes to show you that I'm not after her. Gary, on the other hand, is falling head over heels.
Well, sounds like Courtney must be quite a girl, what with both a football player and a cut-up like Gary vying for her affections. Not to mention my son, the samurai warrior, coming to her rescue.
Oh, Honorable Mother, Courtney is a delicate lotus flower, and I must protect her from all courage goons.
Is she an exchange student?
No. She's kind of mysterious. The only thing that Gary and I could figure out is that she's really ashamed of her background. You know, like she's from the other side of the tracks or something.
Well, Unfortunately, somebody's past can be used against them. Just like Dave's past is being used against him in court.
Dan, you know, you really don't have to go to all this trouble.
Well, sure I do, Nancy. Because you're special to me. And you would be even if you weren't my client.
Hmm?
Yes, really. I'm gonna tell you why, Nancy. Because to me, you're like a little stray kitten that's been lost out in the rain so many times. I mean, you're cold, lonely, and hungry. Because that's how the world's treated you, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, for too long now, Nancy, you've been going up to people and begging, crying, and saying, look at me, I'm hurting. I've got a right to belong, too. Take me in, right? They just kick you aside, don't they? Well, nobody is going to kick you aside anymore. Not as long as I have anything to say about it.
Nancy, this is ripping Ben apart. Oh, come off it, Laura. He's got insurance. You are punishing that man for saving your life.
I'm punishing him for this. I don't have any future. What am I going to do with the rest of my life?
I only know one thing about your life. And that is that if you were to walk out of here right now, and a car were to hit you, and Ben were out there, he would still do everything he could to save you. He'd do it 100 times over. Because your life is sacred, Nancy.
Honey, could you get that? Scotty's got me tied up.
Okay. Yeah, hello.
Hello, Ben. This is Nancy. Could I see you, please?
Nancy, your lawyer has seen me and talked to me and done all your talking for you.
Listen to me, please, Ben.
I have been listening to you for the past several weeks. I really don't want to hear anymore.
Ben, please don't hang up. Look, it's important for us to talk.
All right, Nancy, what is it?
Well, I can't talk over the phone. Could you come here, please?
Yeah, I could, but I don't want to.
No, please. It's very urgent.
All right, I'll see you in about an hour.
Okay. I didn't expect to see you here.
Well, then my surprise visit should make your day, huh?
That necklace, Stacy. I meant to ask about it at breakfast. It's new, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Gil gave it to me.
Yes, well, I'm not surprised. I had a long talk with him a couple days ago.
Daddy, I hope you're not
No,
trying to...
don't worry. This time I'm not going to interfere. I made that mistake once before, and I don't intend on doing it again.
I know that you meant well.
I've always meant well for you. And your mother. Even Amber. You know, Gil realizes now that Amber was using him for her own, well, selfish needs. And Gil said that he really loves you.
Do you believe him?
Well, if you're convinced that the two of you can have a happy life together, then well, maybe it'll work out this time.
I'm just not sure. I don't want to rush into anything.
I think that's very wise, honey.
But he has changed. And I'm beginning to see that the reason that he lied to me was because he was trying not to hurt me.
Well, one of the things I've learned since I've come to believe in God is that you can't help anybody by lying to them, no matter how good your intentions are.
And if it works.
I think that he realizes that now, and I believe him.
I pray that that's true.
Well, you and I have an appointment in court that we can't be late for. Let's hope that all the lies that are being told about me will finally be destroyed by the truth.
Where are you going?
I'll tell you about it when I get back.
An emergency call?
Sort of.
Sort of, huh?
Yeah, sort of.
Okay. Hey, you know, I really wanted to talk to you.
Can it wait till later?
Yeah, it could. But it's important, and I've been thinking a lot about it. I went to see Nancy yesterday.
You did what?
I went to see Nancy. I wasn't going to tell you, but I felt bad if I didn't.
Well, she just called me. She wants me to come over and see her.
About what?
She said she couldn't tell me over the phone, but she says it's important. I'll probably get there and her lawyer will want to raise the ante if I don't settle out of court.
I don't think so.
Why do you say that?
Because yesterday when I was talking to her, now this was before Dan Myers showed up, but I really felt like she was starting to come over to our side. I mean, I told her how upset you've been over this whole malpractice.
Laura, you didn't.
Ben, listen, it's okay. It wasn't bad. And in fact, I really think it made her realize she's making a mistake. I mean, I just felt like if I could have talked to her a little bit longer, that she would drop this whole suit.
Honey, I appreciate you wanting to help, but you've got to be realistic.
Well, that is how I felt. I mean, and it seemed that way until Dan Myers came in.
I just wish you would have told me that you were going to go over and seeing her.
You know what, Ben? I really think I touched her. I do. And I don't know if I got through that belligerent mask of hers or not, but Ben, I am hoping that she's going to come around and see things from our perspective.
Well, if she does, it'll be a miracle. But I'm hoping you're right. I've got to go.
Hey, listen. Call me from the clinic when you get there and tell me what happened, okay?
I will. Bye.
Thank you very much. Could you see about getting me the morning paper as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, listen, nobody's been asking about me, have they?
No, Miss Lawson.
Okay, thank you. I thought you had to be at the office this morning.
Yeah, I do. I was sitting in a diner getting heartburn from their greasy hash browns, and I said to myself, this is no way to start a day, so I thought I would come up and see you.
Oh, me or my mouthwash?
Well, I'm glad you had it, you know. And if you respond the way they do in the commercials, you should be desiring me with every ounce of your being just about now. You know, that was pretty potent stuff in there.
Well, I do. I do, actually.
That's my girl. That's my girl.
You know, Dan, I was thinking about what you were saying to me the other night about
Yes.
filing for divorce.
And I mean it too, Nancy. You were all I was waiting for to start those proceedings.
Yeah, it's, well, but I don't
What?
know.
But what?
I guess I'm just afraid of being hurt again.
No, Nancy, listen to me. I keep trying to convince you that's why I've come into your life, to make sure that you won't be hurt ever again. Now, I told you, Julia and I have been separated for months. All I needed was you to just go ahead and act on that decision that I'd made a long time ago.
Are you sure that it's the right decision, Dan?
Oh, yeah. I know it is. Nancy, I love you. And I want you to be my wife.
Is anyone else here?
It's just the bailiff and the court clerk.
You want to go in and wait for Mr. Webster?
I don't think so. Every time I walk in there, I feel that I'm one step closer to losing my freedom.
Daddy, don't say that.
Dave,
Terry, I had no idea you were going to be here.
well, where did you think I'd be?
Well, don't you have to be at the hospital?
Well, I have a few personal preference holidays I've never taken. I thought now would be a good time to use them.
You've been so good to us, Mrs. Davidson.
I think that that's what friends are all about. Now, look, got to go into that courtroom with our heads held high. I don't think Harold Webster would want us to go in looking defeated.
I'm sorry, but my head is just, and if you'll excuse me, I'll be back.
Dave, should I go with you?
No. I think she'll be all right. In a way, this is a lot harder on her than it is on me. Well, her mother's dead, her father on trial for murder, and Gil Prescott trying to make amends for hurting her.
Is he making any headway?
Well, I think so, and I hope it's all for the best. I just gotta stay out of their life. I can't get involved. It was my involvement that almost destroyed the relationship the last time.
Dave, you did what any conscientious parent would do. You tried to do what was best for everybody, especially Amber's unborn child.
I'm sure glad you have a few personal preference holidays. I need someone like you around to help make sense of my life right now.
Well, there's somebody else who doesn't want you to be confused at all about your life. Should we go in now and say a prayer to him before the proceedings start?
I'd like that very much.
Dr. Phillips?
You want to marry?
Well, I believe that is the legal precedent for making you my wife.
I don't know what to say.
Say yes. How about that?
I'm just so surprised.
Nancy, I told you, I love you, and I want to take care of you.
Gee, Nancy Lawson married to a lawyer. That's almost as good as a doctor.
Oh, great. Thanks a lot.
No, I mean a professional man,
Yeah,
you know.
well, I'm no doctor, but I do know one, though, who's going to pay for our entire honeymoon and then some. Ben Martin. I'll get it.
No, I'll get it. Why don't you have some coffee, okay?
Oh, no, I don't want any coffee. Well, just get the door and relax, Nancy.
I was just talking to Marshal Lockwood outside.
The prosecutor?
Yeah, I'm gonna be testifying for him today.
Oh.
It's my job, Terry.
Look, we understand.
Look, I'm gonna try and be as objective as possible. I guess I really shouldn't say anymore.
Why do you say that?
Because I've already told Webster what I thought he should do. He's not gonna listen to me. Maybe he'll listen to Lockwood. That's why he wanted to see him.
Well, I'm sure Harold will talk to him before court convenes.
Yeah. Look, I think I better be getting in there. Excuse me.
Was that Sergeant Brubaker?
Yeah, he's going to be testifying for the prosecution this morning.
Yes, and somehow I think his objectivity isn't going to do me a bit of good.
Well?
Here you go, Miss Lawson.
Thank you. Dan, do you have something for
Oh,
the boy?
yeah, sure. Let's see. There you go.
Thank you, sir.
Sure thing. Nancy, I really do have to be going.
Did you see this Carruthers one?
Oh, yeah, I heard that on the radio coming in. There are going to be a lot of sad precinct captains around the city today.
Why is that?
Well, to the victor belong the spoils, you know, and all the inside ward leaders were betting that Wainwright would win. That victory just slipped right through their fingers when Kate Carruthers was murdered.
Do you really think that made a difference?
Oh, are you kidding? He would never have won if old Kate hadn't handed him the sympathy vote by dying. But that's politics, huh? Well, I've got to get going. I'll talk to you later, okay?
Did he see you come?
Who?
Dan.
I didn't see anybody, but I came up on the service elevator. The main one was busy.
Oh, good. Come on in.
But I did expect to see him here.
Well, on the contrary, I don't want him to know that we've talked, all right? Would you promise not to tell him?
What do you want, Nancy?
I just want to do what's right, Ben.
Fine. Then drop your case against me.
Look, I can't. You know my circumstances, don't you?
Nancy, if you expect me to accept this lawsuit, I might as well leave right now.
No, look, don't.
Well, what is it? Just say it. Look, I've got to get back to the clinic.
Look, I know what you did was in an effort to help me.
Fine. Why don't you tell the judge that?
I can't.
Why not? It's the truth. You and I both know it.
Listen to me, Ben. I have got such a huge hospital bill, and plus the expense of this place and therapy and all of that. I mean, that's thousands of dollars, Ben. I can't drop this malpractice suit.
I knew this was going to be a waste of time.
No, listen. I can't, but I want to do what's right. So what I would like to do is, when this suit gets settled, I'd like to make a large donation to your clinic.
Are you serious?
Well, this way, I think that we'll both come out ahead, you see, because I'll be able to make ends meet, and then you and the clinic will come out ahead as well. I'll make a lot, a big donation, $100,000.
Nancy, where do you think this money's going to come from?
Well, it'll come from the insurance company. I mean, Dan says they can pay for it.
They can pay for it. Why should they pay for it? I saved your life. You wouldn't be here right now if Russ Weaver and I hadn't tracked you down the night you tried to kill yourself when you smashed your car up. I saved your life. Why should they pay for it?
I'm only trying to help.
Fine. You can help me by telling the truth. Now, do you really think I want that kind of money for the clinic? Nancy, I want a clinic I can be proud of. I just want to practice medicine. I want my reputation back. I want people to know the truth. 100,000 dishonest dollars will not buy that for me, Nancy.
You know Dan was right about you. You are a snob, Ben Martin.
Well, your Dan Myers, my lawyer, almost had me convinced to settle out of court. I was willing to go along with him until I talked to Lester Lewis. And he wanted me to make a public apology, admit to wrongdoing. And now you want to give me $100,000 to admit to wrongdoing. Well, I won't do that. Because I'm not guilty and I will not be a scapegoat. And I certainly don't want any part of this greedy game you're playing. Because whether you believe it or not, Nancy, you can't put a price on truth.